It's important to know when you're learning Moharan, we already mentioned this, it's not really the Seder, but Min HaShamayim, the next Torah, after talking about the concepts of Shovavim, of Tehillim and Tshuva, and bringing a pasuk from Shmos, which is the beginning of Shovavim, we're going to go into now Torah Ayin Daled in Tanina, which is about Acha Purim, Purim Pashas Para. So truth is, we really need to focus in on Purim first, after Shovavim, Tat. This year it's Truma Tetzaveh.
Right.
But there's something here which is connects Purim to Pesach, and really that's the key to understanding Purim, in my opinion. You have to sort of realize that Gula Samech the Gula. The Gula of Purim is connected to the Gula of Pesach. And right now we need all the Gula we can get. Baruch Hashem, my son phoned last night, managed to get a hold of us.
Oh.
Baruch Hashem Ben Masha. I don't know how he did it because I don't know what the rules are and what's going on. And they're trying to get rid of Sinawar and all that. That's there's the whole active mission to get back the hostages and guard the tunnels. There's a lot going on there. Without getting into all the interesting, there's a Torah here that we should probably do at some point. Reish Pei Beis, Azar Malakai Ba'odi, sitting on the table. Maybe we'll keep that for another time. So this idea of being able to have a mission, having a purpose, knowing what the vision, what the goal is. I was talking to B'nai Akiva boys that the army, in order to really keep a good morale, keep going ahead, they need to keep missions in them. Divide up everything into missions. Because if you make it just this overarching, long-term slog, like what happened in First World War, it just was endless.
All right.
So it wasn't going anywhere. Like it was just the people dying. That was all that was happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that whole trench war, endless sort of back forth, not really accomplishing anything. It just ends up as chaos, and there's no point. And eventually the war can't continue. Whereas this war, which is a war with terror, which is always going to be on some level until Mashiach comes, but we have to have. And this is what the B'nai Akiva guys are saying, this is, how's it ever going to end? Because even if we manage to get rid of Iran and Hamas, then there's all the gangsters around the world, like Russia and China, and there's a lot of bigger powers behind this all, yeah? So it's like, what are you going to do? You can't wipe everyone out, yeah? You can't wipe out all the terrorists and all the gangsters. That's our job for Mashiach Sekena, yeah? So that's the answer, that's right. So we have to have these little goalposts. So too in the Jewish calendar, we have times that as manim for us to work on certain projects. So we said the 8 weeks of Shovavim, there's a lot of Torah about it in the Sfarim Kedoshim. Rabbi Nachman doesn't talk about it so much explicitly. I think this Torah is a hint to it. But we also have to know that what the Kedushas Levi says, it's very important Torah, Levi Yitzchak ben Sarah Sasha. So once you've gone through Shovavim, the whole point of Shovavim is to bring you to Purim. He says this beferish. He says those words. The point it's not in English, but you know what I mean. He says that the tikkunim that you do in Shovavim and its Tzotzis, that builds the Aderes Eliyahu, the sort of spitz. It's funny because both my names are Eliyahu. It brings you to that level of Eliyahu, of a certain gilui that happens on Purim. Purim is like the climax of all the hard work. And it's like making a party at the end of learning or doing something real hard projects. You make yourself a cheesecake party. Lahavdil. So there I say back with Purim. Purim is like a celebration of this whole Tekufa. And it's Gula Samach Gula. Because the Am Yisrael, the way we celebrate our Geulas, our salvations, is with a Suda. We thank Hashem with Shevach V'Hodah, not like what happened New Year's. What New Year's, they don't really sit there and, I heard from a Fisher Schechter just now, he just said it this week. He said, it's a big limit schus on Klal Yisrael every time there's a New Year's of their New Year's and our New Year's.
Right.
What are we doing on our New Year's? Dipping the apple in the honey, davening very seriously with Tzini. People are saying Tehillim, people who are fasting, people are doing tshuva, learning more, very intense family focus and shul focus, community focus, the shofar. And what's the world doing on their New Year's? We don't have to say. We know. Yeah? Balagan. Yeah? So we have a big limit schus on us on what we do with our time. So this time is a preparation for Purim and Pesach. So this Torah is very important, and it connects in a little bit what we were learning before about how to use the mouth. The koyach of Pesach, mouth speaks. Famous Torah from Rabbi Nachman. You heard that concept?
Yeah.
Mouth speaks. Pesach is the gula, or not just of your soul, but it's also the gula of your peh, of your mouth. How you use your speech. So let's go. I'm Dalit. Acha Purim Kurim Pashas Para. This is Lok Zerbeinu HaKodesh. He says, after Purim, read Pashas Para. Shu Hachana LaPesach. So remember, we got this year, let's just clarify, halachic dik, what's going on. Right. We've got another week or so is Rosh Chodesh Shvat. Then we have Tu B'Shvat, which is 2 weeks after that. 2 weeks after that is Rosh Chodesh Adar Aleph. Now the halacha is we don't read the Daled Parshas during the first Chodesh Adar Aleph. We don't.
Right.
Everything Ein Bein. I remember the famous Gemara in Ein Bein Gemara in Megillah.
Yes, I do remember that now.
And we learn it out from that Gemara that the second Chodesh Adar is the one Adar base, which is when I was born. Yeah, Tavshin Pes Mem, I think. That I was born Purim. So on the second Adar.
You were born on Purim?
Yeah, once Rav Simai Zilberberg, he had the whole cheshbon in his head. He worked it out based on my non-Jewish birthday. That I was born on Purim. The day after Purim was Purim Sholish that year. So I was born on Purim only because it was Purim Sholish the year I was born. Yeah. So he explained the 16th of Purim. So 16th Adar base. So he explained to me that I'm a Purim user. Anyway, the point is that we have the Daled Parshas, and those Daled Parshas are Shkolim, which we start in Adar Aleph, the Shabbos before Adar base, which is Parshas Mishpatim usually. This year I'm not sure what it will be. We'll find out, I suppose. We have Parshas Shkolim, and then we go to Parshas Zochor, and then we usually have a little break, one of those Shabboses, and then we have Purim, yeah. And then after Purim we read Parshas Para, and that's still in the second Adar, and then just before Rosh Chodesh Nisan we do Parshas HaChodesh.
Right.
So of all these special Parshas, Daled Parshas we read during Adar base. This is what it's talking about here. So after Purim we read Parshas Para. Shechana LaPesach. And remember, we just added a second element, a third element really to this whole time period. We have Shovavim as well that leads us up through Chodesh Shvat. The whole Chodesh Shvat is Shovavim. Right. Tavis is a bissel of Chodesh Shovavim, the beginning part of Shovavim, and the end part of Shovavim is always in Adar. And this year it's Adar Aleph.
Interesting.
Ki Parshas Para Korin. So there's like a map of time, what we're going to right now. Ki Parshas Para Korin, Kadeshi Nizayin, Litaya Mitumas Meis. And Parshas Para we read in order to what? To be careful in Tahara from Tumas Meis. So this is obviously, something we don't relate to too much, yeah, Tahara. It's the Masechta which is least applicable before Mashiach comes, but will become applicable again when Mashiach comes, and was in the times of the Beis HaMikdash, right. And both of them I believe. So we had the concept of Tuma and Tahara. Now we still have, for Kohanim, for example, I'm a Kohen, I can't go near a mace because of Tumas Mace, and I have to mechabed this halacha.
I also wonder if there's the idea of Tumas Mace, like there's the physical Tumas Mace, right? So we come in contact with the dead body.
Yeah.
But then there's the, there's different elements, right? There's always like the face of what Tumas, within Panemius Torah, there's always like the actual idea and the concept, or and there's like the deeper element of like the Tumas Mace within us, and so like the Tumas Mace within us can be like something like whatever that may be, whether it's like, well,
we probably are Tamei Mace, all of us,
right?
Because we've all at some point been on a plane which didn't have a mace was on there, and we didn't have a proper oil. Or we've been in hospitals which didn't have proper oil, or we've been
walked over a grave.
Yeah, walked over graves without knowing.
If you're in Europe, it's very likely. Or even flew over a grave, right?
Yeah, that also.
But the idea of Tumas Mace at a very basic level, I think, is that like when we touch something that is, come in contact or near or whatever, the idea of olos as well.
So there's a spiritual aspect to it.
There's like a spiritual aspect to it, right? It's all spiritual aspects. I don't think that any of this.
What would you? I mean, I know what I would associate with a Tumas Mace, like heaviness or earthiness,
right,
sadness.
It's like a depression.
What would you?
Like a heaviness. I was thinking that also. I think that's
Yeah.
like for sure.
I mean, Rabbi
Yeah.
Nachman, and in Chassidus, the tumas mace is referred to in Svarim, in Chassidus, like the general concept of atzvus. Sadness, depression
Right.
is the tamei mace of Chassidus, like that. Something you
Right.
want to stay most away from.
But like so that's for sure. I think
Yeah.
that's like number one. But maybe even like a little deeper is like, I think that like especially in our times right now,
Yeah,
right? We have like I don't know, we had like 12, 13, 1400 carbonas already
sure.
of human beings of like Yidden that were sent out, that were offered up as carbonas. And like I wonder if like the idea of Tumas Mace is like the idea of us being just so griped in that, like so attached to that, where it just brings us down, where it destroys our amuna, where it makes us feel like like I was texting some friends of ours who are like on the fence of like moving to Israel, and we were telling them like you would really love Efrat, and they're like, I don't know, it's over the green line. And like, there's like a shtickle Thomas Mace to that too within ourselves. It's like
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Beitar for years. People said the same thing about that place also.
right, and it's like I think there's like an
It
element
doesn't
of
matter
like
what
Thomas
kind
Mace,
of like Haredi, Mizrahi, Dati. It doesn't make a difference. People once they've got this concept of the green line
The
and this,
green
they
line
don't even really
is
understand what it is. But
they don't understand what it is. I honestly feel
more like
safer here than I do in Yerushalayim.
I tell you what I did to find out the real truth. If you want to know the truth of things, you find out the money. Yeah,
Right.
Where's the money? That's like Candace Owens will give her credit. She always says that, and it's actually a truth.
Who is this?
She probably got it from that Thomas Sowell because he's a very intelligent person. I don't know if she made it up herself.
Who is this?
Doesn't matter her, but
Oh.
I don't know if I should give her credit, but she's become a bit like not so pro-Jewish in this whole war, but there's a lot of controversy going on with her. But she's connected to this very big thinker called Thomas Sowell, who's actually highly intelligent and someone worth quoting. And the concept that you have to trace back the money. So you have to look at the situation. So what I did is I asked banks in Israel. I literally asked them. I got in contact with bankers, and I said, now, I want to buy property in Beitar. Or now, let's say I want to buy property in a frat. I haven't asked this specifically about frat,
Right.
but I assume it's the same concept. I said, so it's considered like a green zone border next to Arab towns. Like, so do banks give mortgages for these? This is the proof.
Yeah.
And they said they do not consider any of the politics or any of the safety aspects when they give a mortgage. They consider it Israel, and they fully work with financially with these areas. So once you see that the banks don't add any risk factor, there's no like conceptualization of this is the green zone, border zone. This is considered Israel just as much as anywhere else, and we'll give a mortgage just as much anywhere else. That's the bankers that I spoke with. Maybe there's different opinions out there, but the ones I spoke with, and therefore it reassured me. And I bought property in Beitar. I managed to sell it, thank God. But I'm just saying, like, it was a big a big stamp rather, a big of approval from the country that is backing these places financially, and they're not worried that suddenly the place is going to disappear and they'll lose all their mortgages and investments. Yeah,
or give it back.
So money is always a big way of seeing if something's got a kiyum, especially when you're talking to institutions like banks, because they're very what's the word, risk
adverse.
Yeah, they're not exactly. They're not just going to just do that. So that was that. Yeah, to come back to Tumas Mace though, I just wanted to mention my son for the months he was in Gaza and probably continuing now. He's an even more intense part. The smell of mace, the smell of death there is. The first week or two, he was like making him feel sick, and it was very overwhelming. And he said he's got used to it now. Oh. That is the smell in Gaza, death. I'm love dafka is because Chas Shalom, Israel just blowing up all these Palestinians. It's not true. They're killing terrorists, and there's unfortunately been a few hundred Israeli soldiers included in that. So there's a smell of death there. However you want to explain it, but it's not because of any. Crazy bomb attacks from Israel. It's because of the Metzias, the reality. It's a war zone.
When I really mean this. When I go to Europe, any part of Europe almost, I feel the smell of death everywhere. Wow! It just feels like I feel like.
Well, we were a huge community there, the biggest community of the Jewish people were in Europe at that time.
Yeah, that was genocide.
That was real genocide.
And.
Oh, this
We never got our
nonsense.
land back. We should start protesting for our land back there.
Yeah, I mean, it's so contradictory, everything going on. There's been like hundreds of thousands of Arabs killed all around this area. They're even still doing it in Syria and everywhere else.
Right.
And no one's protesting, nothing.
Yeah.
It's totally anti-Semitic. Not even anti-Semitic, it's anti, like, just truth.
Right.
It's like, it's just lies.
Yeah,
So
but I think that there's a like
that's
there's-
also Tumas Mace. You want to
Right.
another thing that makes me connect to Tumas Mace? Sheker, lies.
right.
That whole is like Tameh Mace. That's anything to do with sadness and falsehood. That's like Misa comes from, we learn from sleeping, but it's also
Right.
connected to why? Because when you're asleep, you're in a shtickle Olam Dimyoni, Olam Sheka, because you're having all these dreams that don't make sense.
Yeah.
It's connected to the Nachash, which is a shakran. He was a liar.
I have to look up. I one time heard, I think Weinberger, either Rabbi Weinberger or Zakatinsky gave like a really, really interesting share on like
On this
on
Inyan.
Thomas Mace and on Carbon Pesach, on
Well, this connects to what we're
Paraduma.
learning now. That's what we're learning now. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, go look it up because I'd be interested to hear what he says.
Like to tie it down as to what is our modern day
Yeah, I'd like to hear from
Thomas
him.
Mace.
It's
I don't
good
remember
idea.
where.
Yeah, you'll find it if you maybe ask him even directly.
Yeah.
Kadeshu Tohorin Lasso's Pesach. I tried a WhatsApp with Rav Kaczynski. He doesn't really answer me anymore.
Yeah.
Because I was draining him a cop about Thank You Hashem because I know he's connected with them. Because I was working for an organization, and one of the things with him is he's a big tamchon, but he doesn't want to get involved in all that stuff.
He doesn't know.
And that like he's sort of like, I don't know if he blocked me, but he just was like, no, this is not my thing.
No, it's definitely has nothing to do with it.
But I was given his number to ask him about it by someone
Oh
else.
yeah, wrong number.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
I've met him in person, so I'm
He's
sure I'll
like
meet him again.
Yeah, the nicest.
in the right time. Kadeshu Tohorin Lassos Pesach. In order to Tahara, everyone, you need to do Pesach, Korban Pesach, to be able to do Pesach, excuse me. You need to be pure to be able to eat the Pesach, yeah? So in order to get to the Pesach, the pure Korban, you need to put this holy Korban in your mouth. Like, we're all going to be one big Chabur Achas, Shirat David, Eish Kodesh, what's his, Kehila Mavach Hashem. We're all going to be singing together, Rav Zakatinsky, Rav Shlomo Katz, of Moshe Weinberg, all going to be singing together, and all the clever of all these people having a huge Korban Pesach together for party in Eretz Yisrael.
Wow. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, and then we can ask them directly, panim el panim, as Rav Moshe Weinberg always used to say to me whenever I see him, he'd say, we should be zocher to learn in Yerushalayim, panim el panim. He used to give me that bracha. That was his bracha to me. Not like, you should have shefa, you should have nachas. His bracha to me is we should be zocher to learn panim el panim in Yerushalayim. That was always used to give me that bracha. B'tchilas hu b'chinas pur. Ki Purim al shema pura. Because we begin b'chinas pur. This is Purim al shema pur. Purim is the concept of pura. It brings in Esther, Tes, Kavanas Hariza, Besod Pil Pur, Besod Para Aduma. Yeah, so this is a whole Torah in Esther based on the Kavanas Hariza, the whole deep secret of the Pil and the Pur. Yeah, no problem. The Pil and the Pur. Yeah,
Lottery.
Yeah, Pil and Pur.
Pill.
Besod Para
What type of pills are you
Aduma. Yeah, stay away from those. So that's the Pur. Kippurim Hashem Pur. Because I was asking someone the other day, like about music. Do you connect to music? I'm big into music.
Yeah, no, I play music.
You do?
I'm a
So
musician.
should we talk about that side of ourselves at some point?
I have. We're on Spotify.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We only have a couple songs.
I'm also on
It's
Spotify.
me and my.
So we should talk about the music side of ourselves. We've probably got more connection than we realise.
Yeah.
Music's a big part of my life. So I was explaining music to someone who's not really into music. So I said, you've never really connected to music? So he said to me, I took some acid, then I really connected. I said, I don't mean to be... for me, like, I just connect. I don't need to have any pill or pull or anything. I just connect.
I feel like everyone connects to music, and that's why when people take psychedelic drugs, they connect more, is because what those drugs do is they shut off the part of your brain that is...
The chatterbox.
The chatterbox, it's like the automatic system, you know. It's like
so you can actually experience.
Yeah, it's like that's why when people eat and they're like,
you have to train yourself to do that without drugs. In my opinion.
I think that the holy tzaddikim were able to get to that through mindfulness, through
Shtavus.
I don't like the word mindfulness.
Shtavus is the Torah way of doing it. Shtavus means a certain focus.
Yeah.
Tzaddikim have, like, you know who talks about it a lot? a guy called Rav Moshe Gersh. I actually represent him. I got him some speaking gigs for Alami the other day.
Nice.
He's
Alami. Okay. Yeah.
So Moshe Gersh, he has a book called "It's All the Same for Me," and that's the whole concept of Shabbos. Same.
Right.
Tuning into the consistent connection to Hashem.
Right,
Hashem Negdi Tamid.
Right.
That's like it's a level of a tzaddik, but he's brought it down in our generation language.
Yeah. It's
He's got a new book out as well. Okay, let's go. So the idea,
so anyways, yeah.
Akakach Naaseh para. So the main point is after this you make a para. So once you've got the pura of Purim, Kavanas Arizal teach us, connects it, and Rabbi Nachman is connecting it together with it. It brings us to the level of para.
Oh.
So pur brings us to para. You see that? Purim, para. Brings us. There's a connection between the pur and the para.
Okay. Yeah.
The lottery of Purim that brings us the gula of Yud Daled and Tesvav Adar, and this year it's Adar base, and then it brings us to Parshas Para, or the concept of Para, of actually doing the korban of Para, bringing that not the korban. Is it a korban? Yeah, it's a korban. Is it a korban? I don't know. It's a vodas of Para.
The Paraduma.
Paraduma. Is it? I don't think it's a korban. It's more like an avoda.
It's like an antidote.
Yeah, an avoda so that we can do the korbanos. Yeah.
I feel like
With
I
tahara.
saw in one of the chats.
Purity. With
I
Pesach.
think on one of the chats, the Shirat David. I don't know which chat it was. One of the Efrat chats, Shirat David or Pitam. Someone posted a picture that they have.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Para Adumas somewhere.
Yeah,
here in
it's
Israel.
probably the Sichas Shirat David Sichas Averim, that one.
That they have actual
The chat
Para
one.
Adumas.
We all throw in our Torah. I've put my Torah in over there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's more of a Torah one. Maybe once in a while, Pidm Torah, they sneak in some Torah there. But the point is, Pidm Torah is meant to be more like Lamaisa. Whereas the Sikhs Chaverim that's where we share Torah. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. But the problem is, the whole thing with the Paraduma is it has to like have a kiyum, this cow. And that's where it usually gets puzzle after a while. Like something bangs into it, or it grows too many hairs, or whatever. The different ways it becomes puzzle. So it's the point, it has to last long enough, and when we're ready to actually do it.
One of the cool parts that they actually exist.
They do exist, and every song there is one or two in the world that we know about. But and the Siddiqim know about. I'm sure there's a clever people who are ready to get Paradumring.
I really enjoyed Reb Shlomo told me, and for me this was a mind opener.
Yeah.
That there's two opinions. One opinion is that, which is the opinion I always learned in yeshiva, and I always thought that this was the actual case, is that when Mashiach comes, it's going to be like a big bang, lahavdil. The Beis Hamikdash is going to kind of like fall out of the sky, land on top of the temporary structure that's there now.
Yeah.
And Mashiach will be here,
Good times.
Yeah, and maybe we'll have some war or not, but Lamaisa, it's going to like just come out of the sky almost.
Yeah.
And then he was saying that there's also the element, and there's a machlokas within that, and some people say that we actually have to bring it ourselves. And what does that mean is we actually have to go up there, we have to build the Beis Hamikdash ourselves, and we have to, prepare for Mashiach, and we have to really mamish bring it here, like just slap it out of the sky. Why was I saying that? Oh, because of the Paraduma, yeah.
So I made a song called Yachtav, called Together. It's a Binyamin Shalom. And the concept is that we're building Yerushalayim. It's based on the Tehillim in 122. I put the song out in 2001, 2, and I've just re-released it now because all my songs got deleted by accident by a whole story I don't want to get into with Spotify, with the distribution people. So I'm just re-releasing all my tracks one by one right now, and then also another artist, and a few compilations ones I did. So I'm re-releasing everything. So I've just put up now, was it last night or the day before? And the day before, I put up Binyamin Shalom, this song. And it's Yerushalayim, Habaniyah, Kisha Chubala, Yachtav, Yachtav. It's like a more like reggae kind of poppy song. And it says Yerushalayim, Habaniyah, that Hashem's going to build Yerushalayim, Habaniyah, Kisha Chubala, Yachtav. It's going to be the heavenly one and the one in the world, Yachtav, together.
Right.
The one above and the one below. The two Yerushalayim are going to link up. The heavenly Yerushalayim and the world Yerushalayim, the down here Yerushalayim. And that Yachtav is going to join together, and that's going to be the Bayis Shlishi.
Wow.
Where both meet. So that's a pasuk in Tehillim, and I made a whole song about it. And in 2001 too, hasn't manifested yet. But that song could be, in my opinion, could be like a hit. Like if it would be done properly, like with someone like not whoever the modern day MJ is. What's his name? Bruno Mars. I get him to sing
Bruno
it.
Mars, yeah.
Bruno Mars. I get him to Mars. Made him Jewish. I get him to sing it. Yeah.
Baruch Mars.
Yeah, there we go.
Baruch
Baruch Marx to do it.
Or Baruch Margolis.
Then I've got a hit. But I just, whoever
or Joey Newcomb, everything he sings.
Or Mordechai Shapiro, maybe.
He's
got that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like sort of.
He was.
Maybe I should send it to him. Ask him if he'll do it for me.
I was in we davened in the same shul for years.
It's a good idea. I might send him that song and ask him if he wants to do it.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
He's a good guy.
I've got his number. So the idea Purim al Shema Pur. V'achakach nase par. Ki gam Purim hu b'vay halach derech Pesach. That Purim certainly goes in the way halach v'derech Pesach. So Purim is definitely remember we had this whole hiluch, this whole journey through time, Rosh Chodesh Shvat starting next week, I think, and we're going to go all the way. I think this is Shabbos Mevarchim, Chodesh Shvat, the Shabbos. So,
yeah?
Yeah, we're already there. Can you believe it? So then we're literally from that Chodesh Shvat, says the Ger Rebbes, all the way till Shavuos, it's every 2 weeks is another special time.
Yeah.
Because even Rosh Chodesh Shvat is, according to Beis Shammai, the Yom Tov of Ilanos, and there's some tzaddikim who make a sudar about that, and all the way till basically Shavuot is Chagim every 2 weeks.
Wow.
There's Purim Koton, Purim Godel.
Right.
Each week, every 2 weeks is Rosh Chodesh, and then we have Pesach Sheni. Yeah, all the way through Pesach.
That's
obviously.
Interesting. Who says this?
The Beger Rebbe.
Wow, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah, it's literally a time of Chagim all the way through. Once we
every
get
2 weeks is that's like within the cycle of the moon. Every 2 weeks is when we go from like the full to the half to the
So this whole hiluch of journey that we're talking about, connects Purim to Pesach. Ki gam Purim hu bevadei holach lederech lePesach. Zeh b'chinas of sof shoshanim notfus more over. Pasuk in Shir Hashem. So let's see what the English translation is. Very helpful. Yeah.
Shir Hashem, even when you have the English translation, it's very hard.
Right. Really his lips is a concept of his lips rose dripping with flowing myrrh. Yeah, you know what myrrh is?
Myrrh is like a myrrh is a type of like spice, I think, or that's what I'm looking for.
Let's look underneath. Rabbi Nachman next explains the deeper meaning of Pesach, in particular relates to Purim. The verse he quotes is from Song of Songs, Shir Hashem, which is read and sung on the Shabbat of Pesach. In Israel, the bride metaphorically depicts God, her beloved husband. His cheeks like a bed of fragrant spices, his lips rose, Shoshanim, dripping with flowing myrrh. Moreover, the Rebbe will now show that the verse contains allusions to the Pesach, the festival of redemption and freedom, when the Jews became a nation and formed a strong bond with Hashem. So there's a connection here. We're going to see. Let Rabbi Nachman explain it for us. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll do it.
He'll do it. So Sof Zav Zeh Bechinas Pesach. Here we go. This famous concept, Pesach. The mouth speaks. Yeah, the lips.
Sach.
Pesach. The mouth speaks. Yeah. So we see that already. That's taken from what we were saying before. The whole idea of Tehillim and Tshuva. How we're going to make our mouth holy during this time through learning and davening and praying, not speaking Lashon Hara, Chas Shalom, or Nivel Peh, anything negative. Shoshana, he Esther.
Right.
Yeah, who would have known that? But Shoshana, she is Esther.
I feel like I've heard that before. I don't know why. Yeah.
It's funny because one of my best friends who I'm bringing the tefillin for, his daughter he just named Shoshana. Just use that one of the names.
Oh, my daughter's name is Bluma.
Bluma.
We call her
flowers. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a real Yiddish name.
Yiddish.
I just need a tissue. Bluma.
The tissues.
She told me here in Efrat, they ask her what her Hebrew name is.
Yeah.
So she tells everyone Bluma. And all the girls here, it's a pretty much a Datili, Mizrahi.
Yeah, they don't have those
like
kind of names.
She's like a Haimish name.
Yeah, my daughter Mindel,
Mindel also, they just like...
Yeah. They call her Mindy.
Yeah, but they're like Bluma. My daughter told me
we were going to use my great-grandmother's name Gittel for the second name, which is a very Yiddish name. Yeah. But we, in the end, chose Tova, which is the same meaning.
Right, yeah.
But we chose the Hebrew version when we named her Basat Shemai, because it would have been like Mindel Gittel would have been a bit like, didn't sound right. So
Right.
Mindel Tova is like a cute name.
Right, yeah. So she's Bluma, like her Hebrew name, but we don't, we call her Rosie.
Rosie.
Which is like kind of the English
My
translation.
niece is Rosie. I'm going to go see her. I just arranged to go
But-
see her when I go to London.
But Rosie told me that, like, the girls in her class, like kind of made fun of her. They're like, Bluma? What the name is Bluma?
My niece is Rosie Ray in English, Rosie Rochel in Razel Rochel.
Razel Rachel, that's another one.
Yeah.
Gonna get a tissue.
That's the other door.
Un momento.
It's on the base. It's on the bimmer. There's tissues. Yeah. Anyway, so Purim, Para, Pesach. See, it all connects. So Bechinas Pesach. Kamavor. Shoshana he Esther. Shoshana is Esther. Now we're going to see. This is nice. Would you believe it? It's brother. It says Kamavar Bazara Kodesh Kisve Arizo v'Shoshana Gematria Esther. That's a nice remez. Shoshana is Gematria Esther.
Right, I saw that also.
Wow, I didn't know that. So I'm gonna have to tell my friend that when I see him in London, the one I'm meeting in the pub. Note first more with the tefillin. Note first more over Zeh Bechinas Mordechai. Note this more over Zeh Bechinas Mordechai. More draw. Here we go. So explaining the pasuk beautifully. Yeah, how it connects in to Pesach, to Esther, Gematria Shoshana, Purim, Pesach, and now another one. More the myrrh that it talks about. This sort of fragrance.
Myrrh is like a
is more. Netofis more over.
Right.
More draw. More draw Mordechai is says in the Ferush of Gemara. Is more draw. Draw is, we know, draw, Dalad Reish Vav Reish. Doro is the concept of Cheres, of freedom. Doro Ba'aretz, it says by the Yovel. Yeah. Loshen Cheres. Bechinas Cheres Shal Pesach. So one of the big nakudas of Mordechai is he has within his name more draw, more dachir. Yeah, Mordechai.
Right.
And therefore he's connected to the Loshen of Cheres, of freedom. And that's Cheres is of Pesach. That's the whole concept of Izman Chereseinu. We actually say it. I think it's even in the Chumash. It's a time, and Nissan Black has a song about that. Izman Cheres. I remember singing that, and he did it in Times Square. I was the DJ. Izman Chereseinu. We're like DJing and like doing a song in Times Square about the time of freedom, Pesach. It's on YouTube. You can see it.
That's amazing.
You look up Times Square,
Nissan
Black, and you'll see me standing there DJing.
He's a gewalt.
Yeah. I just got a booking for him for the soldiers. I was just thinking about it a minute ago. I shouldn't have been thinking about it. That was my chatterbox head going on
What are you gonna do?
in the middle of our learning. Just trying to close this I need to close
This
the
tab.
booking with the army. Yeah, I did the 2018 when I was his actual
okay.
manager. I was his manager for this, and I was the DJ because they wouldn't let Matt Dubb do it. Hey, look,
Why
see me
not?
there? There's Matt Dubb. They wouldn't let him DJ, so they made me DJ instead.
How come they didn't let Matt Dubb do it?
Because I don't know. He was sort of last minute. They didn't really want to pay him. I don't know what. It was too last minute.
Oh, this is with Chabad.
Yeah.
Oh.
This song, Zman Cheresein. Zman Cheresein.
Yeah.
That's what we're learning about. The time of freedom. And it's Times Square. Pretty cool, no?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
So, and it was good times. I DJ'd that. I
Nice.
managed. I put that whole thing together with C-Team. It was a very intense takufa. I'm not going to deny it. Anyway, Losh and Cheres, Bechinas Cheres Shal Pesach. It was actually just before Purim, or was it after Purim? Yeah, it was just before Purim because we flew back in time for Purim. Okay, and after going to Miami and back to Israel in the middle. Okay, and Serif Shal Purim. Remember, it's for Pesach, and this is the Serif for Purim hinted to in Pesach. Yeah, Purim and Pesach. Here we go. We're joining the two together. Yeah, hinted to in Pesach. Pasuk Shivas Yomim Tachol Matzos Kashes Havisach LaMoed Chodesh Aviv. 7 days you shall eat matzah, that which Hashem commanded you. Yeah, LaMoed Chodesh Aviv, in the time of Chodesh Aviv. This coming. This is like the climax of this whole time period we're getting to now. Shovavim, Pesach, Purim, Pesach. Yeah, the whole concept. What are we reading? We're reading in the Parshas right now. We're going to talk about it on Leil Seder. The Kriya is Ma'or Zman. That's a deep concept. The reading of the Chumash right now is awakening the time. So we're reading about Pesach and reading about eventually about Shavuos and about the Mishkan. It says in the Sfarim, the Kriya, the reading about it, is in a higher level than the actual Zman itself when it manifests.
Right.
That's the power of Torah. Just reading about it has so much energy. So right now, we're in the Parshas of Pesach. We're getting ready. So we're in that sugya right now. But remember, Pesach, Shivas Yomim, you're going to eat matzahs that Hashem commanded you. This is all the way in Parshas Mishpatim, this Pasuk. L'moed Chodesh Aviv. Ki vo yitzasim mitzrayim lo yirei fanai reikam. And as we know, that Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim, and you will not see my face empty.
Right.
Yeah, Panim Panim, as Moshe Weinberg says. Why? What happens when you see the face of Hashem or a tzaddik? You don't walk away empty. Never.
Right.
Lord Panay, yeah, it's not going to happen to you. Lord Ru Panay Vekam. You're not going to see Hashem's face during this time and walk away without blessing. You're going to come away with something. Matanas, you're going to new Musagim, more Shalom Bayis, more Hinach Bonim, all the different blessings that I want. Hopefully, Korbanot this year, Korban Pesach. We're going to be feeling a little bit full up from all these beautiful, sudas we're having together with everybody, and the Achdus and the Simcha, and the fact that we don't have all these enemies trying to kill us anymore because Mashiach Sekenu came. Be good times, yeah. Mitzrayim lo yiru pnei reikam. From Mitzrayim you will not see my face and leave empty. Rosh Tevas Purim. That pasuk Mitzrayim in Parshas Mishpatim, talking about Pesach. Mitzrayim lo yiru pnei reikam.
Right, Purim. Wow.
Mem vav Yud Pei Reish. Rosh Tevas Purim. See, it takes tzaddik to see that in the Chumash.
Yeah.
Purim hu derech lePesach. Because the whole point of this Torah, Purim, and I said Shovavim is the derech to Purim, and then Purim is the derech to Pesach. Shu yochlim lios nizarin machametz. Because then you would be able to be careful in chametz. Yeah.
Huh?
Why? Because what is chametz connected to Mace?
Thomas Mace.
Right at the beginning of the Torah. It doesn't say that yet. Does it say it? It doesn't even say it
No,
here.
I didn't say that.
It's another concept. I've heard that concept that you can maybe
It's
find that
in
shir
like
from
Yoter.
Rav Weinberger and Rav Zakasinski, which one said it. But I reckon the Tumas Mace of the Para fixes up also
Right.
gets you ready for the Chayritz of Pesach, which is the connected to the Matzah, which is the opposite of Chametz. Chametz is also connected to those three klipas, Tameas of Atzvus and all the negative stuff that the Chabad, the Tanya talks about, connects to Gimel Klipas Tameas. It brings you down into kas and anger and jealousy and kovod and all those negative midas that come from the three klipas Tameas. That's the Chametz. That's the difference between Chametz and Matzah.
Right.
What's the difference? 3. Gematria 3. 3, if you add on 3 to Hey, you get a Ches. Turns the Matzah into Chametz. All it is, those 3 bad midas, what we have to do is fix up those 3 of Taiva Kovod and Kina Taiva Kovod, fix up those 3 and we get rid of the Chametz. But otherwise we're being pulled down into Mace, into Tumas Mace, and that's why they're connected to Chametz. It's all connected, all these concepts.
All connected, yeah.
So the point.
I wonder how we also tie in how Purim is also connected to the Yontif of Yom Kippur as well, too.
Yom Kippurim.
Right.
So
I'm saying how that even ties into this Torah, like how you can tie it all together.
Well, Tahara is a big point of Yom Kippur.
Right.
Yeah, it's a fairish pasuk. Lifnei Hashem Titaro. You stand in front of Hashem, you will become pure. Yom Kippur purifies Am Yisrael. And once you're purifying Am Yisrael, you're purifying them from Tumas Mace as well, from sin, from anything to do. And there is definitely a connection. Mm-hmm. Just why is Yom Kippur like Purim? Because Purim's on a higher level. Because Purim, you're doing it in the world. You're not becoming a malach. You're taking a piece of flesh, a big piece of meat.
It took me a very long
eating
time
a nice
to
challah.
even believe that. You know that?
What?
I remember like learning that in yeshiva. Like people
Yeah.
would tell that stuff, and I was like, "That's Purim Torah."
That's
Purim,
Chassidus.
Right, nowadays you learn Chassidus, you see Purim is like the highest of the high.
Yeah, and it gives you a whole new perspective of what this world is about.
Right.
Like my son, I'll give you an example. I got different types of kids. Yeah, each son is his own world. It's very important for Hinach to realize that, and it's actually a Peferish pasuk. Yeah. What's the pasuk for Hinach?
I don't remember about.
Al pi dacha. Hanach, Hinach.
Abidalka.
Each child you have to educate according to his way. Yeah, that's Beferish Pasuk, and everyone brings down and say, even in Shulchan Aruch they bring it down. I was just learning kids of Shulchan Aruch brings it down as
It's
an
like one
actual
of those
derech.
psukim. It's like derech eretz kadma l'Torah.
Yeah, but you have to each child you have
Kind of
to
an annoying
educate
one.
according to his way. Yeah, I know they make it into like pop quiz kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but you have to now to get rid of the trauma that comes across
Right.
with
It's
all these
also
kind of
like a
teachers.
very typical. Like,
We've heard
Tisha B'Av
stuff too
shir.
many times, and it sort of loses its real depth.
It's
But it
zen.
really is deep. Like when you start to live it, rather than listen to these like sort of programs, like where they program everything and take away the depth of it. If you listen to the depth of it and remind yourself, this is my real life. I actually Hanach, al pi dacha is like Hanach liyeled al pi dacha. Every child has his way. Start to really think about that. So my son in the army has his way, and he's going on his journey. And then my son in yeshiva, the opposite. He, in terms of Kleisel, where they are, like he has started like during Shovavim, he was telling me the yeshiva's fasting, and on Monday and Thursdays. I said,
a bahab.
I said, what are they doing? I said, like I used to be a mashgiach of yeshiva. I'm involved. I was very much involved in Hinuch yeshivas. I'm not like a big rabbi or anything, but I had my time and I talked to a lot of mashgichim or people way above me, and very important for this generation, even more so in my opinion, Tafshin Pei Daled, if I would have any say, not to do that, not to make bochum fast. They're already separated from the world enough.
Yeah.
The one thing they can do is eat and drink a little bit in yeshiva time to have koach to learn. Don't take that away from them also.
Yeah.
Whatever they can do, but derech heta, let them do it properly. Let them exercise. Let them make sure you give them a full, healthy schedule. Because he said he's starting to feel faint. He's starting to have all these anxieties. I said, because you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You're giving into your from Yetzirah. There's a from Yetzirah. In the army, there's a fry Yetzirah to not keep Yiddishkeit, probably just because of all the Zionists that go on and being in the army, especially in the time of war, where life comes first. And then you can start, God forbid, forgetting about your Yiddishkeit. So you have to constantly remind yourself, even if you can't, Al Pi Torah, you're not allowed to keep Shabbos right now. You have to break Shabbos. That's with my son's situation.
Well, they are keeping Shabbos, but they're keeping
it according to the army situation. So they have the Frayet Zohar that says, where's God? Chashem, you see all these dead people everywhere. How could this be? You start to have thoughts. So my son, thank God, in the army, he's not having any of those thoughts, thank God. He's actually strengthening his Yiddishkeit. But nevertheless, the son in the yeshiva is having it in other ways. His nisyonos.
Where does he go to school?
From Yetzirah. It's a new yeshiva in Yerushalayim that broke off from another yeshiva, which I thank God very much encouraged him to leave because it was a Rebbeisher kind of place. And I said to him, you got to come out of yeshiva being a mensch. He said, I want to be a tzaddik. You want to be a tzaddik?
Yeah.
You got to go process. You got to go slow. You got to be real with yourself. You got to become the best you. Not become someone else. He keeps looking at other boys, but they're faster, they're this, they're that. I said, don't be them. You can never be them. You become the best you. You've got your unique Torah, your unique light. This is hard to listen to a father because he's going to see you again. Some Rosh Yeshiva is going to walk in and give some fiery speech that actually and make him more crazy rather than help him balance out. So he has to constantly find the path of balance. Look, it took me a while as well, where I was around his age until I became, 23, 24. I started to balance out somewhat. So, but you have the from Yetzirah, the Fry Yetzirah. So he's got the from Yetzirah talking to him right now. And the whole thing he has to, each child...
Yetzirah is very strong also.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is each child has to find his way. Right. And the whole thing here is connecting back to this Torah.
So bring it back.
Bring it back to the Torah. The idea of, there is a way. Yeah, the Mordechai is the same osis also as Derech Yam. There's a path. Derech Yam is the whole Torah, Rabbi Nachman, we're going to learn about, there's a path in Torah, how to get to Hashem. Derech Yam is the 50th gate as well. Connects into the previous Torah we just learned. Mordechai has within him the essence of Derech Yam, the Derech to the 50th gate. How do you get to this 50th level? How do you get to this path of Cheres? True Cheres comes when what? When we've got the Torah, which is what we learned yesterday. When Hashem is the Shuva Alai, Shuva Aleichem, Hashem's returning to us. We've done Shuva, we've done through the 49 steps. You get to this 50th level, then Hashem returns to you. Here the Torah come one with you. And then that's the 50th level. That's Mordechai. He has a derech in how to go through this yam, through these 49, 50 levels. And that's why it's a derech, it's a path. Mordechai teaches us that. And so the tzaddik comes and helps, guides us during this time how to get through this whole like who's the whole key to getting out of Mitzrayim? Who does Moshe Rabbeinu, who's the tzaddik, he's the tzaddik, the das of that time. Who does he go get to take out Mitzrayim?
Right.
Atmos Yosef.
Right.
The bones of Yosef. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because he brings the tzaddik with him. He brings the bones of the tzaddik, Yosef a tzaddik. Because in order to ask out Mitzrayim, we have to have the eitzes of the tzaddik.
It's interesting. I was told that you don't have some people hold you don't have Tumas Mace.
By a tzaddik.
By a tzaddik.
Yeah, that's correct. That's why some kohanim go to Kvarim or Tzaddikim.
Right. Is
There's
that your minhag or not your minhag?
I went into the whole thing once with a dayan, and because I'm about tshuva, sometimes they choose minhagim kind of thing. But my rabbanim told me you'd get more of a mitzvah to not, meaning it'd be more of a mitzvah to protect your kahana than to take on the minhag if you'd ask other rabbanim, might say no, but mamin and the kedusha of a tzaddik, right. What's wrong with that?
But meir kahana.
But yeah, everyone have different path about that. But in the end, what I took on what the dayan at that time told me to not. So I've never been inside the kever of Shem Bayachai, for example, or any of those kind of places. Rabbi Nachman, I've never been in other than the Kohen place. Apparently, my son told me they've expanded that the Kohen place in Uman.
I don't know. I wasn't there. I haven't been there.
They figured out how Kohanim can enter more to the
right. They have a whole Kohan.
I've been to the Kohen section, but apparently they've expanded it, and the same with other places, other Kvarim as well. They've expanded the place where Kohanim
what it looks
can
like
go.
now.
Because I remember when I went to Bedichev years ago, I had to with YY Jacobson. I had to stand outside the Kedushas Levi. It was freezing, and I was standing by myself with some other Kohen, just doing a spodidus, but I wasn't so geschmack as it wasn't with everyone else, davening.
Especially if it was in the winter.
And it was freezing. It was in winter, yeah. So it was absolutely freezing.
Yeah.
I ended up going back on the bus, but shame. So I never really made it to the Bedichev, even though I was like in the area of Bedichev. I could see it even, but I just couldn't go in. So apparently they've fixed that now. They've made it all nice there.
Oh, there? Yeah?
Yeah. Baal Shem Tov as well.
I've been
It's
to
all
Baal
nice,
Shem Tov.
all new. They've got a Kohen room there as well, which I've been in. They made it really nice there, mikvahs and everything. So we have a connection to Tzaddikim. This connection to Tzaddikim gets us through this time period, and this is the concept that we need eitzes of Tzaddikim, advice of Tzaddikim, and not like I told my son, who are you asking these questions to? When I was in yeshiva, you have to ask a mashgiach or a rav. You don't just take on and I'm going to fast. Yeah. Like if I was your rav, I would say no way.
No way.
Yeah, you need to fast from. I said to him, the best fast you can do is Tainus Dibur. Is not to speak bad things.
Right.
Be encouraging to yourself, to your friends.
Right.
Try that. That's hard work. To only say good stuff.
Right.
That's the best kind of fast. That's what Simai once said to me. People talk about Tanina, but he used to fast in speech during Shovavim 5 hours at a time. Yeah. But he said the much higher level for him is to say good things.
Right.
To give people chizuk, a word
see
of chizuk.
Good things, so only see the good things.
Yeah, to be able to give chizuk to Am Yisrael. He used to say that to me. I used to speak to him in the car on the way back, and he would say these kind of Torahs. Anyway,
right.
But the point is, we need to finish off this. Keep it high. Call it chalas ben Pesach. Okay, call it mitzvahs hem zekil yitzias mitzrayim v'achshav. Keep a beginning. Call. Hatchalas Pesach, because all beginnings come from Pesach. Okay, kol ha-mitzvahs heim zeichel yitzias mitzrayim. That's why every single mitzvah has in it the zeichel yitzias mitzrayim.
Right.
V'achshav, and now, but now the Rebbe did not complete this apparently. But now, full stop, 3 full stops. He was about to say more, and it got cut off.
Yeah.
Let's read what it says underneath. It's always good.
These little footnotes here.
The Rebbe did not complete this. Rabbi Nosson writes, Rabbi Nachman's words, I understand the words, all beginnings were originally from Pesach. Now all beginnings are from Purim, the eradication of Amalek, and this year, please God, Hamas, whom Scripture describes as number 24/20, first among the nations, Rachel's God Amalek, although Rabbi Nosson does not explain what he means by Amalek. Throughout his writing, we find that he identifies Amalek as morality, combining thievery, arrogance, Hamas, atheism, mockery, generally, every evil trait. Although Rabbi Nachman... Rabbi Nachman left this thought unfinished. Best of Chassidim have an oral tradition which completes this and determine it. What does it say? V'achshav, but now, by linking it with 2 others. One is the prologue to Likutei Moharan, whereas Rebbe teaches that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is a holy angel sent from heaven. V'achshav, but now, there's a flowing brook, a wellspring of wisdom. Who's the wellspring of wisdom? Nachman Aveh Makor Chachma, Nachman.
Okay.
Rabbi Nachman himself. He's the one, Bachshav, who's pouring forth these chokhmas. The first says which spell Nachman. The second place is the Pesach Haggadah, where it's written in the beginning, we were idolaters. V'achshav, but now, we say this every year.
Yeah.
Say tonight. And also I think whenever we read Parshas Purim, God has drawn us close to His service. In light of these two other times, it's possible to complete the Rebbe's words here. Initially, all beginnings were from Pesach. V'achshav, so you must say in the beginning, we were distant from God, each of his own idolatry. V'achshav, there is a Nachman Makor Chachma, but now there is a Rebbe Nachman who can teach us how to begin anew and follow a straight path in serving Hashem. There's a real breast of Torah, this.
Yeah.
The Rebbe's, he's the V'achshav.
Yeah.
Now, how are you going to begin? With the Rebbe's eitzes.
The Rebbe.
Tzaddik, the Tzaddik Yisod Olam, Mordechai, Derech Yam. Commenting on Rabbi Nachman's lessons, the Be'ibei Hanachu suggests the completion of but now is obvious from the Rebbe's teachings. But now all beginnings are from Purim. Therefore, the fact that Rebbe did not finish the thought indicating there was some deeper intention when he framed revealing. Perhaps the Tzaddik here suggests, the Be'ibei Hanachu suggests the numerical value of Pesach is 148, the same numerical as Nachman. You knew that?
Interesting.
Nachman and Pesach, same gematria, numerical value. Initially, all beginnings from Pesach can be read as Rabbi Nachman alluding to himself. So himself, all beginnings come from him.
Right.
That's a real breast of a Torah. Initially, when the Rebbe was alive, all beginnings were from Nachman Pesach, but now all things begin with Purim and the Pur, Para, and then becoming Para, the Korban, which we just gives us the Tahara. Para is an acronym for Pesach, Rosh Hashanah. So Pei is Pesach, and Reish and Hey is Rosh Hashanah.
Interesting.
Which is the time of beginning. And we know Rabbi Nachman's Torah about Rosh Hashanah, all beginnings, Allah Alakol, Uman Rosh Hashanah,
Right.
Like Pesach Rosh Hashanah, which literally means the head first of the year, is beginning. Now that Rabbi Nachman's passed away, all new beginnings of purity are from his gravesite in Rosh Hashanah. Here we go, real breast of a Torah here.
Nice.
Anyone who travels to Uman for Rosh Hashanah while at the Rebbe's tomb sincerely recites the Psalms, the Tikkun Klali, the Tehillim we learned about, the 10 times Rabbi Nachman revealed to rectify nocturnal missions, see lesson 92 later in this volume, merits repenting. Through Rabbi Nachman Pesach merits the purity required for effecting tremendous rectifications, beginning anew in the service of Hashem. And this is a very big, strong best of Torah there.
Yeah. Interesting.
Thank you to Brezov.org who've provided that.
Yeah. This is Breslov.org?
See that logo in the beginning?
It's the Breslov.org.
Yeah, it's their Chevra, Rav Chaim Kramer and whole Chevra.
Oh, really? But the notes on the bottom is Rav Chaim Kramer?
It's based on all. He's Malachi, yeah. He's the one who did the work.
He's the real deal.
Oh yeah, he worked hard, and he's a real bestseller.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the real deal, sure.
My wife's a breast. No, my wife grew up like a breast liver.
Yeah.
She's been to Uman, I don't know, maybe a dozen times or more.
Without getting into the whole like flag waving, I'm a breast lover kind of thing.
Yeah.
For me, it's more about like the panemius of it. What's the panemius of that? What we just read and what we just learned is constantly beginning again. V'achshav.
Right.
Again and again, and connecting yourself to a tzaddik, whether it's Rabbi Nachman or it's Lubavitcher Rebbe or it's Rav Moshe Weinberger,
Right.
Havdil ben Chaim, whoever it is, it's constantly connecting yourself to the concept of a tzaddik and beginning fresh. Getting in those eights, getting the advice from the right
that's
place.
what the Thomas Mace is the Thomas Mace is the idea of like death.
Yeah, old.
Right? When we always have to start over, in every moment.
Exactly.
And so Thomas Mace can just be living in yesterday. Thomas Mace can be living in death. It can be not necessarily depression, but also it can just be depression comes from that. Depression can come from like, oh, yesterday I did nothing. Yesterday.
So what does Am Yisrael do? We have Rosh Chodesh, we have
renewals,
we have Shovavim, we have Purim.
Right.
We just learned Purim has in it the beginning of the concept of new beginnings of Am Yisrael, Yeshua's, more draw, Cheres,
Right.
Mordechai, the Tzaddik, Derech Yam, Esther, Gematria Shoshana, Pesach, has in it the way we speak and stuff, has in it all these Torahs that we just learned now, and then comes Pesach itself is the new beginnings, which Chodesh Nisan is the beginning of all the beginnings. Yeah, that's Rabbi Nachman's birthday, Min HaShamayim. He's born on the Rosh of all the Chodoshim, the most chizuk day of renewal.
Right, it's Nisan. Right.
And remember, I said the whole thing of authentic intelligence. Where's it going to come from? Constantly innovative, renew. You want to be successful business, you got to tap yourself into this innovative renewal process. And then Pesach is the Rosh of all the Regalim, and Rosh Hashanah is the Rosh of all the year, and also he's talking about Pesach here. Mouth speaks, and Pesach is Gematria Nachman, and Rosh Hashanah is his Chag, his festival. So you see, Rabbi Nachman's intrinsically tied into this constant concept of renewal.
Yeah,
and that's probably one of the reasons
that was
why
one of his biggest chedush.
Yeah, and that's one of the. But that's one of his reasons. Without getting into the whole politics and the whatever you call it, the flag waving. Don't even know how to say it even. Without going in that whole path, or I'm a Breslover, like you need to tell everybody or something. It's nothing to do with it. It's about panemius connection. Do you connect into this panemius of a tzaddik who's constantly renewing himself? And that's the key to our door. That we're free, we're not tied down, we're not, like you said, we're not into Tumas Mace, we're not dead. We're renewing ourselves daily, fresh, looking at our wife with a fresh eyes, looking at our kids with fresh eyes, looking at each child according to his way, again and again, looking at his way, where they're holding, or her way, each child fresh, looking at friendships, relationships of family fresh, not old narratives, looking at business fresh, everything, going to davening, Shir Malas again today, say it fresh, like you never said it before. That's
get going.
That's the way.
All right. Givaldic, thank you very much. When are you going to the United Kingdoms?
Motzi Shabbos is my flight.
That's how United.
Yeah, Hashem Yerachem. I'm going to try to bring some United Souls there.